to welcome you all to our live stream. And if you're watching the recording, welcome as well. Uh, Today, we're going to talk about the heart wall. So, I'm going to share a screen. Let's hopefully it works here. And we'll talk about the heart wall a little bit. And yeah, it's going to work. Yay. All right. So the heart wall is, so let's talk about the heart itself first. So the heart wall, physical heart energy can be measured using a magnetocardiogram. And we know that the heart has a magnetic field surrounding it about 12 feet outside the body. And heart waves can be measured in the brain waves of another. If you have positive feelings or warm, loving feelings about somebody and they're within that 12-foot bubble, their brain waves will capture the waves of your heart, and that can be measured. And not only that, but your heart rate or your heartbeat rate can synchronize with that of who you're with and have warm feelings about. So what is a heart wall then? What does that have to do with this? Well, the heart is made out of trapped emotions, unprocessed negative energies from the past, pains or negative, anything negative that can happen. And they're created to protect the heart from profoundly negative emotions. For example, you have a young bride, it's on her wedding day, and she's there at the church, and everything's there, and the family's there, and all her friends, and bridesmaids, and caterers, and everything, musicians, and then the groom doesn't show up, gets cold feet, and heads for the hills. Well, what's going to happen then? She's going to feel abandonment, or betrayal, or anger, or rage, and if she holds that in, then it can become entrapped in her body, and the which we know about trapped emotions. We've gone over that in past shows, but the heart also feels these emotions and wants to block them, so it creates its own trapped emotions, which forms like a layers, like an onion around the heart. So spherical energy around the heart, and so then what happens as a result is the magnetic wave energy that the heart is sending out, that up above was affecting, positively the brain waves or the heart synchronization of another, that gets distorted. And they're either going to read you wrong, or they're going to read the energy of this negative emotion instead of the positive emotion you might feel. The subconscious, being logical, needs to make the heart wall out of a substance. It's got a physical wall around it, but it's not made of anything. So the heart wants to make it out of a substance. And when I work with people, we find out what that thickness is and what the material is made out. If it seems appropriate, and if you'd like to, we can find out what your wall is made out of. So what happens when the heart wall when you have a heart wall, which most of us do, it can create feelings of isolation or numbness because you're not sending out the heart energy as well. It causes difficulty in social settings because of that isolation and numbness from the wall around your heart. They're not picking up the energy from you, or maybe that energy is distorted, as I was just talking about. It can create troubles with intimacy, communication issues, can create depression. It can also contribute to neck, shoulder, upper back pain. It can lower your immunity. It can block your creativity, and it can block your achievement and abundance in your life. It can affect, if you're in business for yourself, having a heart wall can definitely hold you back. And I've seen it many, many times. So when you get the heart wall cleared, which we'll talk about how to do that in a minute, it opens up the channels to give and receive love at a greater level. And that's really all clearing the heart wall does. Everything else below that is what is a result of having those channels cleared. So you get deep into your healing. I've seen that. I work with people, and we only go so far. We clear their heart wall, and we're able to get to a lot more core issues. You have enriched relationships, both personal and professional, And I've experienced that when I had my heart wall cleared a long, long time ago. And then I cleared my wife's heart wall. Our relationship got much more deeper, more affectionate, and little things that used to bother us about each other that I thought were real turned out, they just stopped bothering us. And so we had a much better marriage. And now we're partnering in business, which would have been unthinkable back then because we just activated each other too much when we were close all the time. The biggest feedback I get from people who've had heart walls cleared is a feeling of lightness, like a weight has been lifted off your chest. They say that time and time again. Oh, I just feel lighter. It creates an overall feeling of optimism and the presence of grace in your life, like somebody's watching out for you and taking care of you and loving you. And because it opens up the channels to receive energy of love from all around us. And love is the operating frequency of the universe. So it's natural that you feel that grace all the time. And like I said with my wife, you don't react negatively to stimuli, you sleep better, your immune system is stronger, therefore you have better health. And most of us have many heart walls. And this is the most popular thing that I do. People come to me just to have their heart wall done. They've heard about heart wall work and they hear that I do it, and they just contact me and say, can you clear my heart wall? Yes, I can, of course. It's usually made of 25 to 60 different trapped emotions. I've cleared heart walls from people as young as 7 years old. Obviously, they don't have as many, but older people can have, all 60 of the 60 emotions on the emotion code chart. And you can inherit heart walls from your parents when you're conceived. You can have a heart wall with a place where you have a negative association or negative feelings about a place, and it's because of some association your heart has made with that place with some kind of emotional pain. So the heart creates a wall for that place or situation. You can have a heart wall with the whole world. If you think the world is against you, maybe that's something that we can look at together. Heart walls with money and success. You've heard about fear of success. Well, that's very real. I see that all the time. I had a session this morning where somebody had business goals and they were meeting the goals and they were getting overwhelmed and frightened and wanted to pull back. You can have a heart wall with family members, with old flames, former spouses, people you've broken up with, friends, prospects, clients, customers. A great thing to do for business. And your staff, if you have employees, partners, suppliers. And finally, you can even have a heart wall with yourself. So what does all that mean? Heart wall with yourself. It means that you have an association with something negative that happened in your life that created pain in your heart. Your heart feels it, creates a trapped emotion to block that. And that'll affect your ability to, because remember what I said, heart walls are about giving and receiving love. Therefore, in this case, a heart wall is about giving and receiving love to and from yourself. And when you love yourself more, then people are going to respond better to you. And so I work with business people and to clear their heart walls. And for example, somebody is just afraid to pick up the phone and prospect. They love doing the business, but do they have to do the calling and contacting and talking to prospects or talking to new clients and things like that? It was great when the business first started, but now they've been at it for 2 years and it's just overwhelming, or it's negative or something like that. So what we do is we pull up the emotion code chart, which is, yep, here it is, with 60 trapped emotions in it, based in Chinese medicine. And we ask the question, do you have a heart wall with your prospects or maybe with your current clients? And what I do is muscle test. I connect with their permission to their energy field. And using muscle testing, I determine which one of these emotions are in the heart wall. And there's usually anywhere from 2 to 10. Average would be about 5 with a particular group. And so we find out, let's say we find out they have a heart wall called stubbornness. And it's determined during using muscle testing. The emotion is stubbornness in the heart wall. It means they have an inflexibility, or they're not willing to compromise with the client. And it's just an energy, and it's not anything to do with that one client. It's something, from your past that is being applied to them because you have this heart wall. Or maybe you had an experience with a client who was really pushy and was a bully and was difficult to deal with, and your heart didn't like that pain, so it set up a trapped emotion of stubbornness around any client, not just that one, but anyone. So what does that mean? So the result could be potential prospects think about you, oh gee, I love working with this guy, but man, he's so inflexible, he's a little pushy, I made a mistake, I missed an appointment, he's just hanging it over my head, and whatever it is, people will look for reasons why they're feeling the way that they do. So I clear this energy from you, and the result will be that your clients and prospects will feel differently about you. So the way I do that, we identify it with muscle testing. Then we take a magnet. This is the magnet I like to use. It's mounted on an amethyst. It doesn't have to be, but I like the energy of it when I pass it over the top of my head. There's the magnet on the back side. And I'll just intending that we clear it once I've connected with the person, and we say a little prayer. I do 3 swipes of the magnet, 2 and 3, over the governing acupuncture meridian over the top of my head. And when we do that, the energy of the magnet finds that trapped emotion, because we're intending about it, we're thinking about it, we're wondering what happened in my past where I was stubborn, and it will identify it and clear it. It's really wonderful the way that works. And that's all there is to it for each one of those. So we can clear that trapped emotion. Let's say there's 5 trapped emotions with your prospect base, and we identified that one and cleared it. It takes about a minute, so we can do all 5 of them in, 5 minutes would be a high example once we've talked about it, figured out what we're going to do, and then actually do it. About 5 minutes to clear it all out. So if you would like to have a heart wall session, please make an appointment with me. You can go to this website right there, balanceharmonyjoy.com, and click make an appointment up at the top, and set an appointment, and I'll be happy to work with you on your heart wall. The results are amazing. I do heart wall work literally every week on people, and the feedback is always overwhelmingly positive. We also have, because it's time of year now for Valentine's Day, and the wonderful people at Discover Healing are having a Valentine's Day sale for people that are interested in taking their body code or emotion code work to the next level and become certified. Anybody can use the emotion code anytime. It's free to use. But if you are going to charge for the service and make it a business, and it's a wonderful business to be in, you have to become certified. So you can own the rights to use the brand and the brand name and the terminology and the charts that they provide. So, and just for liability reasons, so it would be important to be certified for that. So I did that. When I started my journey, I bought the book, The Emotion Code, on Amazon, and I read it, and I practiced on myself, and I learned everything, and then started doing it on my wife and a few close friends, and then my phone started to ring. I was working full time then, so I wasn't pushing it, but I was really enjoying doing it, and I was learning a lot. So, and then the phone started ringing. People said, you did this thing where you waved the magnet with my friend, my wife, my husband, whatever. And pretty soon I had a pretty steady stream of, several appointments a week, and I wasn't charging because I wasn't certified, and I was having a great time doing it. And then when I thought maybe I can make a part-time business out of this, so I invited a bunch of people over to my house. We did a goal setting workshop in January to set goals for the year, and as part of the workshop, I gave a emotion code session to each person in addition to the regular workshop we ran. And at the end, we sat around in the circle and I asked for their feedback. And every single person, there were like 8 people, they said, "Oh, this was great. I could feel a difference right away. You've got to do this. You've got to do this." So I went ahead and did the certification. It took me about 4 months to become certified in the emotion code. And then I began actually giving sessions to people at that time. So for money, and once I started charging, I was only doing 1, 2, 3 a week. But like it was when I was giving them for free, I started, the phone started ringing and I started getting more and more calls. And after less than a year of doing it, I left the full-time job and started doing this full-time, having by that point done the second level, the certification in the body code. So this was in May of 2019. Yeah, I became certified in the body code and started doing it full-time as a business. Struggled a little bit at first, did a little side hustle work, which I really enjoyed, but I enjoyed this a lot more. So I stuck at it, and my first year I did okay. I was shocked at how many clients I had. They just kept coming, but the numbers were okay. And then in my first full year of doing it full time in 2020, I more than doubled what I did in the first year in 2019. And then go to 2021, I increased over 2020 by 78%. So we're going almost fourfold by year 3 what I did in year 1. And now we're in 2022, and I'm way ahead of where I was at this point in the year for the previous year. So it just keeps growing and building, and you learn a lot and you become more proficient. As you become more proficient, you get more referrals. And I don't do a lot of marketing. Most of my work's done on referral basis. So if you're interested in becoming certified in the body code, they're doing a 5% off right now. Please contact me. I don't know if you can read that URL below there, discoverhealing.com/ref/Stringham, my last name, and that'll take you to my affiliate site. And when you do it that way, I will be able to help you along with your journey. Okay, and you'll learn how to do heart walls on yourself and your friends and your family and everything as well. And if you're already doing emotion code, body code work, getting certified is something I recommend if you want to commit yourself to succeeding at it and in constant learning. Because I practice, I learn, I watch videos. I'm in a group that meets once a week, and we share notes and work on things on each other. So it's a lifestyle for me, and one that I wish I'd done it years ago. Just the other day, I ran into somebody who was my direct report for a corporation I worked for back in the 80s. And he was only a couple of months away from retiring. It was great to see him. And we talked for a little bit, and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him a little bit about this. And it was surprising. It came out of my mouth. I said, if I knew about this when I was working for you, I probably would have made a different professional decision at that point. So, and it was true. I would have, because I love this more than anything I did when I was working in the corporate world. I had a whole different set of um, values back then. Okay, so that's it for today. We're here every Wednesday at noon. If you want to come on live, and if you want to have a session, that's available too. You just chat in that you're interested in having a session, or you can just say hi on the chat. And most Wednesdays, my wife Carol is here as well, and we talk about communication and the cycles and seasons and all kinds of different things. So it's kind of an eclectic mix of energy working topics that we do here every Wednesday on Body Code Live. So thanks for coming. We hope to see you again, and please contact me if you have any questions. And because I'm at a point now where I'm really busy, but I've always got time for my tribe.